Groucho, we have a teenager and a housewife waiting to talk to you. They're Dennis Devine and Betina Consolo. So, folks, come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word, and you each get an extra 50 smackers. It's a common word, something you see every day. Betina Consolo and Dennis Devine, huh? Well, I'll start with you, Dennis, because I guess you're the oldest, huh? How old are you, around 40?
No, I'm 17, Groucho.
17? Well, you're a fine-looking lad.
Thank you.
And Betina, how old are you?
60.
Where are you from, Betty?
I came from Metusa, province of Messina.
Messina?
Yes.
Where is that? Is that in Holland?
No, it's near Napoli, Palermo.
Oh. What is the name of this town?
Tusa.
Tusa. That's in Arizona, isn't it, Tusa? Well, tell us something of your childhood in sunny Italy. Did you enjoy the usual girlish activities like watching TV until noon and
no, not
then spending the next 5 hours on the telephone and things like that?
Those are all the days, no telephone and no TV.
What kind of fun did you have as a girl? You must
Oh,
have some fun. Huh?
I had a lot of fun. My grandmother used to bring me, they had a big orange growing.
They brought you over to pick oranges?
Yes, sir.
And that was fun?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. One day they had a big sand wood, and they had so many oranges in there. I was a younger girl. I tried to pick them up. My foot was slight, and I run in the wood. And I'm in the water now.
You were in orange juice, drowning in orange juice? Somebody should have thrown you a navel orange. Well, how did you meet your husband? While you were swimming around in this drink?
No, Groucho. One day I washed your clothes, and I hanged my clothes.
You were washing your clothes?
Oh, yes. My hands.
Oh.
Like this.
You're washing your hands or you're washing your
I
clothes?
wash my clothes by my hands. My hands hold the clothes, and I wash them. Well, I used to hang my clothes, and all in the ones I put around my head, and I see a nice man, nice curly hair, blocky hair, you know. He was
a blockhead he was?
Very cute. And they had a binocular, and they looked at me for 5 minutes steady.
You were playing pinochle with this man?
They had a binocular, the one where you look at the people and like this.
Oh, binocular.
One eye closed and one eye open.
You had one eye open and one eye closed, and you were looking at a man through a deck of pinochle cards.
My eyes were sort of both open.
Your eyes were open?
Yes.
And these fellows were watching you wash the clothes?
That's right.
Well, why? Well, what was unusual about washing clothes?
Well...
Had they never seen a girl wash clothes before?
Well, I don't think so. They must have liked me.
Huh?
They must have liked me.
They liked you, huh?
Yeah. After the 1 week, my mother, the father came, and the mother came, and
the boy's
brother...
father?
Yes.
Came to look you over, is that it?
The brother and the sister-in-law, and the whole family come to my house.
To look at you?
They look at me.
To see if you were all right for this fellow.
That's right.
Well, that happened to me one time. I looked at a girl for 5 minutes, and then I went and got my father.
Wow.
And he looked at her for 5 minutes. And he says, beat it, kid, I'll handle this myself. Who are you again, young? I forgot who you were. What did you say your name was?
Dennis Devine, sir.
Dennis Devine?
Yes, sir.
Where are you from?
I'm from Van Nuys.
Where's that? Is that in the south?
No, that's in San Fernando Valley.
Well, you like it there?
Oh, it's fine. It's terrific.
What has Van Nuys got that other suburbs don't have? For example, what has Van Nuys got over Glendale or Pasadena or Cucamonga?
We feel that... I feel that we have the best mayor in the state of California.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I admire that civic pride that you have in your hometown. Who is the mayor of Van Nuys?
It's my father, Andy Devine.
Your father's Andy Devine, huh?
Yes, sir.
He's a nice guy, too, Andy. I've known him for years, and a very successful actor.
Thank you.
I assume you go to school, huh?
Yeah, I attend Van Nuys High School.
There's a group out there from the Blackboard Jungle. Well, what are you studying in school? I'm liable to get lynched if you don't win any money here. What are you studying in school?
I study math. Math is my major.
Well, you major math, now you can lie in it. That's a pretty difficult subject, isn't it, math?
Yeah.
Does your father help you with your schoolwork?
Well, Dad's interested in my schoolwork. He helps me in history and goes to banquets and football games, stuff like that.
He goes to the bank with you?
On the banquets and stuff like that.
Oh, he goes down. No wonder he weighs 400 pounds. Well, are you an honor student? How are your grades?
Oh, they're all right. I have a B average.
Well, that's very good, isn't it? A B average? Do you get all B's?
No, I got a C in history last time.
And your father, you say, has been helping you?
He's been helping.
How do you get along with your folks? Do you have any trouble with them?
Not too much trouble. I'm pretty lucky. My folks,
They understand you?
Yeah, they try.
What time do you have to be home from dates?
Well, the folks usually want me in about 12 o'clock or so.
Betina, do you think teenagers should be home at a certain hour?
No, no later than 10:30.
10:30, you say?
Yes, sir.
At 10:30, most of them are just getting up from the night before. Are you always home by midnight?
No, sometimes if I get a flat tire or something, I get home around 2:30.
That was never the case with me. Whenever I had a flat tire, I'd get rid of her as quickly as possible. Now, Betina, you got married when you were barely in your teens, didn't you? How old were you?
Oh, I was about almost 15.
How's your marriage coming along? Do you think it's been a happy marriage?
Very happy marriage. I've been a widow for 70 years ago.
You've been a widow for 7 years?
7 years.
I'm sorry to hear that, Betina.
Well.
Have you ever thought of getting married again?
Oh, yes, I'm looking for men right now.
They don't fool around in Italy at all. You say you're looking for a man?
Yes.
Well, that lets me out. Now, what kind of a man are you looking for?
Well, I want a good man. Never was in jail before.
You want a man who's never been in jail?
That's right.
Well, that lets me out even further. Well, isn't that a rather snobbish attitude, Betty? Why don't you want a jailbird?
Because maybe later on they get into trouble again.
You think you'd make a good wife for some man?
Oh, they make a wonderful wife.
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, yes, about me, yes.
Oh.
Right.
I thought you were discussing some other girl.
No, I'm talking about me, Groucho. I'm a good at cooking.
You're a good cooking?
Yes, sir. Good at house keep my house clean. Take care of my money.
Money, You said money, so you and your friend here each get $50 from Senator Kefauver. See how easy it is to win money?
Very easy.
Well, now, what can you cook that a man would like, particularly?
Anything they want.
Well, what? Tell us what you're good at.
Ravioli, lasagna, spaghetti, egg cannoli, chicken cacciatore, rabbits in the oven.
What's that?
Rabbits in the oven.
Yeah. This one.
Dennis, you're a young man, and I don't hear very well. Did she say she's got rabbits in her oven? Well, don't you ever let them out, Betty? What are you doing with rabbits in your oven?
Cooking.
You know how do you say rabbits in German?
Then Jim?
Yeah.
No.
Hasenpfeffer.
That's nice. No.
Well, I'm glad that pleases you, Betty. Now, how about pizza? Do you make pizza?
That's the best meal. The best dish run in my house.
Well, tell us, how do you make pizza? Because there's a lot of housewives out front.
Make the dough, and let it raise.
Well, you gotta have a husband for that. Huh?
Let it raise in a bowl. And then after that raise for 10 minutes, you prepare everything what you want. Anchovy, scamozza, and cheese, and tomato sauce, and...
You haven't got one on you, have you?
Anytime you want, I'm ready to make it for you.
Okay, I'm going to call you sometime and you come up and
Anytime.
make
You
it.
call me up and I run over.
I certainly will. I don't want you to get run over, and then you won't be able to...
I'll come over.
You come over and have
Okay.
that pizza right in your hand, huh?
Anytime.
Well, Betty, you sound like quite a bargain, and you have a good sense of humor, too. You know what you're talking about.
Thank you very much.
But you're quite a bargain, but you know a lot of other women are, too.
Huh?
Now, one more thing, Betina. As an expert, what do you consider the most important thing that a wife can contribute to a marriage?
Well,
Above all.
all right. One of the often they're going to work in the morning, get the nice clean handkerchief and put it in a pocket. And before they often they're going out to work.
Well, why should a man have a clean handkerchief every day?
Because you don't know what they have to. Maybe you get a blood or not. Maybe you have to go. And then the man says, what kind of wife I got? They know even to put a handkerchief in my pocket. See?
Well, men, there it is. What more could you want? There's the ideal woman for some lucky fellow, and I'm being serious about this. What more could any man want? 2 pizza pies and a clean handkerchief every morning. And a wonderful woman with her. Well, you're a charming couple, and I've enjoyed our little gap fest.
Thank you.
However, the time has come to see how much money you can win, and luckily you have a young student here who has got a string of B's, is that right? You selected food and cooking, huh?
You know whose
anything
idea
about
that
this?
was?
Well, you know, your father must know something about cooking if he weighs 340 pounds.
He knows the other end.
All right, number 1, what is a goober?
Potato?
You better answer
No.
this.
Peanut.
Peanut is right.
You
You
have-
better let him handle the dialogue here. You stick to the belly laughs and let him do the answer.
You have 1 right, 3 more right, and you'll have $1,000.
She looks just like my father when we used to kid him, huh? That same kind of a patient look. Saying to herself, what a jerk he is. All right, what term is used in measuring the fuel value of food?
Would that be... Yeah.
Go ahead.
What do you mean by fuel value?
I am the faintest idea.
You mean the quantity?
The energy content of food.
Oh, calories.
Calorie is right, yes.
You have 2 right now, 2 more right, and you'll have $1,000.
You want to go ahead with this?
Yeah, go shoot.
From what source is saccharin obtained? You had chemistry in high school.
No, I didn't. I just had history.
Well, you won't find this in history, huh?
You mean, what is it,
What is the source of saccharin? Where does it come from?
where does it come from?
No, not where.
No.
What?
What?
It comes from another product.
From the tomatoes, of course.
She says tomatoes.
I'll say a beet.
No, it's coal tar.
Oh, all right. Got 4 more.
You have 1 wrong now. Don't get the next one wrong, or the game is all over.
What? What Boston hotel is famous for its rolls?
Oh,
Flower?
no, not Flower. What hotel is famous for? I'd say,
No, the bell is tolled, and it's too late.
okay.
It's Parker House.
Parker
A
House.
very, very well-known rolls.
Well,
The ball game.
you got two in a row wrong.
Are they through already?
Yeah, they're out of the game.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry, Miss Tunero. We don't want you to go away broke. You've got $100 already. haven't you?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you one more question for an additional $100.
All right.
From what fish do you get salmon eggs?
7.
General Grant is right. I'm sorry you didn't win more, but thanks anyway for being with us. You bet your life.
Thank you, Groucho.
Thank you. Arrivederci. George, come here. Don't let Mrs. Consolo get away. I want you to ask her to come back again next week. A sneaky idea is beginning to take shape. You go right out now and ask her if she can come back again next week, will you? Well, what did Betina say?
Well, Groucho, she'll be back next week with 2 pizza pies.
Fine. I've got some big plans for her. I'll tell you about it after the show.
All right.
All right, George, who's next?
Well, Mrs. Lydia Mueller is waiting to talk to you, Groucho, and her partner is a special guest, one of the gold medal winners at the 1956 Olympic Games, Mr. Paul Anderson. So, folks, you can please meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Now, which one is Paul Anderson? Paul Anderson and Lydia Mueller, is that right? Muller, huh? Well, it's got umlaut over the umlaut. I had an egg umlaut for breakfast this morning. I read about Paul Anderson at the Olympic Games in Australia, is that right? This is the Olympic weightlifting champion. Skinny, it's an honor to have you here. Well, Paul, tell us something about your experiences in the Olympic Games. As I recall, somebody from Argentina tied you, didn't he? I hate to bring up an unpleasant subject here, but...
Well, it's really not unpleasant, Groucho, because
it is to me, huh?
there is no such thing as a tie in weightlifting. The lighter man always wins. After the Argentinian finished lifting, I was having a very bad night that night, so I took just exactly enough on my last lift to win, and got the gold medal for weighing a little less.
Who holds the world's record in your class?
I hold all the world records.
You hold all the records? You're sort of a monopoly, aren't you? You're a pretty hefty party there. How much do you tip the beam at?
About 340.
How old are you?
24.
24. Well, you're just a growing boy, huh? And we have a lot in common, too. Give us some of your dimensions. For example, what size is your neck?
It's a little over 23 inches.
Well, you see, we have something in common. That's precisely the size of my chest. By the way, what is the size of your chest?
58.
Well, what do you know about that? That's exactly how tall I am. Well, give us the rest of your dimensions.
Well, my upper arm flex is 22 and a half. The chest, like I say, is 58. Waist 45, thigh 36. Calf about 20.
That's not a calf, that's a whole cow. Paul, you rest there a minute while I get acquainted with your partner, Mrs. Mueller.
Muller.
Lydia Mueller, is that
Muller.
right? Muller?
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
Been married 52 years, it's coming May.
52 years, that's a long time to be married.
52 years.
And it's a fine tribute to both of you, Lydia.
Thank you.
Now, do you expect this marriage to last?
I expect to have 52 more years.
It's hard to believe you've been married 52 years. You don't look it.
Don't you think so?
No. I thought you were
Well,
about 50. Now, how do you explain that?
Well, I've been very happily married, I guess.
That's the reason?
think
Your
so.
theory is if you're happily married, you don't get wrinkles.
That's about it.
Well, that explains why everybody called my Uncle Julius prune face. Paul, I'd like to learn something about weightlifting, just enough to be able to lift the milk bottle off my neighbor's porch. Paul, what is the most weight you've ever lifted?
5,000 pounds.
Oh, you're being facetious, aren't you?
No.
You really could lift 5,000 pounds? Well, what do you have around the house that weighs 5,000 pounds? You're not married, are you? What do? Do you just pick up the house?
Well, for this certain lift, it's called a back lift. I have an apparatus built of a platform with all kinds of scrap material on there, such as I have an old safe filled with concrete and pig iron, things like that.
Could you lift a second mortgage on my house? Now, how does this 5,000-pound lift compare with other weightlifters?
Well, it's never been lifted before.
Well, this makes you the strongest man in the world, huh?
That's what they say.
You think you could whip a whole army barehanded the way Samson did with the Philistines?
Well, no, the way I understand it, he had the help of a jawbone of an ass. Something like that.
Look, if you think you're going to get me to help you, you're badly... Can you take your coat off and show us your muscles?
Well, I don't know.
Lydia, you don't mind if
No,
you take
not a
part of his
bit.
clothes off?
The difference in a weightlifter and
And a muscle
the
beat?
bodybuilder, yeah, that's exactly
Well,
right.
take your shirt off, too.
Oh, no, that's...
No? Well, it's been very interesting talking to you, Paul, and to you, too, Lydia. And we're proud of the championship that you won in Melbourne.
Thank you.
You're a fine lad, and I say that not because you're the strongest man in the world, but because I happen to be the weakest. Okay, now let's see how much you can win in the quiz. Now remember, we're your partners, so we want one answer between you. Nicknames in sports. I'll ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Ready? Who was known as Gentleman Jim? Talk it over.
That was Jim Corbett.
It sure was. That was Jim Corbett, right? You're right.
You have one right, 3 more right, and you'll have $1,000.
Who was known as the Galloping Ghost? Talk it over.
That was Red Grange of Illinois.
That's right. Red Grange in the Sunset.
You're halfway to $1,000. 2 more right, and it's yours.
What baseball great was known as the Sultan of SWAT?
Babe Ruth.
The immortal Babe is right.
You're almost there. 1 more right, and you have $1,000.
Who was known as the Manasseh Mauler?
Jack Dempsey.
Jack Dempsey is right. You're pretty sharp there, Lydia.
You got 4 in a row, so you win yourselves $1,000.
Now, you've won $1,000. You can keep it and quit, or you can come back later and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $10,000. So go over and sit down, and you sit on his lap, Lydia.
All right.
If we don't see you later, thanks for being on the show. Thank you.
Groucho, we have a teenager and a housewife waiting to talk to you. They're Dennis Devine and Betina Consolo. So, folks, come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word, and you each get an extra 50 smackers. It's a common word, something you see every day. Betina, Consolo, and Dennis Devine, huh? Well, I'll start with you, Dennis, because I guess you're the oldest, huh? How old are you, around 40?
No, I'm 17, Groucho.
17? Well, you're a fine-looking lad.
Thank you.
And Betina, how old are you?
60.
Where are you from, Betty?
I came from Tulsa, Provincia Messina.
Messina?
Yes.
Where is that? Is that in Holland?
No, it's near Napoli, Palermo.
Oh. What is the name of this town?
Tulsa.
Tulsa. That's in Arizona, isn't it, Tulsa? Well, tell us something of your childhood in sunny Italy. Did you enjoy the usual girlish activities like
Yes.
watching TV until noon and
No, not
then
TV.
spending the next 5 hours on the telephone and things like that?
Those are all the days, no telephone and no TV.
What kind of fun did you have as a girl? You must
Oh,
have some fun. Huh?
I had a lot of fun. My grandmother used to bring me, they had a big orange growing.
They brought you over to pick oranges?
Yes, sir.
And that was fun?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. One day they had a big sand war, and they had so many oranges in there. I was a younger girl. I tried to pick them up. My foot is sliced, and I run in the water. And I'm in the water now.
You were in orange juice, drowning in orange juice? Somebody should have thrown you a navel orange. Well, how did you meet your husband? While you were swimming around in this drink?
No, Groucho. One day I wash your clothes, and I hang my clothes.
You were washing your clothes?
Oh, yes. My hands.
Oh.
Like this.
You're washing your hands or you're washing your
I
clothes?
wash my clothes by my hands. My hands hold the clothes, and I wash them. Well, I used to hang my clothes, and